Convocation open. This convocation of Chanakya National Law University, Patna has been called to confer the degree and diploma upon the candidates who in the examination held for the purpose have been certified to be worthy of the same.
Chief Justice of India and the chief guest of today's convocation, Honorable Mr. Justice Ihsanuddin Amanullah, Judge Supreme Court of India, and Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Bindal, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Sudhir Singh, Honorable Chancellor of Chanakya National Law University, and other honorable judges sitting and retired of High Court of Judicature at Patna, Shri Sunil Kumar, Honorable Education Minister of Bihar, Chairman Bar Council of India, Chairman Bihar State Bar Council, other distinguished guests, graduating students, proud parents of graduating students, my friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to welcome the Honorable Chief Justice of India, who has been very kind to accept our invitation. There was no date available with His Lordship till 30th April 2026, yet His Lordship overruled his own staff. Though my Lord has an image of a judge who basically believes in judicial restraint, but if the situation so demands, my Lord does not hesitate in acting even suo motu to stay Supreme Court's own order. We are indeed grateful to His Lordship for finding time for us. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming son of soil, His Lordship Justice Ihsanuddin Amanullah. It is because of His Lordship's personal involvement that the university got necessary funds to initiate process of faculty recruitments. My leave was to end on December 13, 2025, and Cnlu almost lost me. But His Lordship intervened with God's speed and got my deputation extended. I welcome my own Honorable Chancellor in his university. I also welcome other Honorable Judges of High Court, particularly Mr. Justice Nani Takia and Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh Kumar Verma, Members General Council, Honorable Mr. Justice Partha Sarthi, Member Academic Council. I would also like to welcome my predecessor, Justice Mridula Mishra, to create a world-class university in Bihar. Sir, you are the real host of today's convocation, and we welcome you. Shri Pratyay Amrit is an outstanding officer who did something unprecedented. He himself came to my office and asked me to tell how state government can help Cnlu. I have not seen any chief secretary taking so much interest in any law university. I also extend a warm welcome to Shri Anand Kishore, Additional Chief Secretary, Department of Finance. We are trying our best to reverse brain drain so that the best Bihari talent does a non-controversial Ghar Wapsi. I am glad to report that finally we have opened our portals even for those who missed out after +2. A rigorous 3-year LLB course after graduation has been introduced from 2025 with the approval of BCI, and I must express my gratitude to the Honorable Chairman of BCI. The LLM program at Cnlu also underwent an equally rigorous transformation to align with international postgraduate standards. In a bold decision, Cnlu has also stopped conducting its own LLM tests and started admitting students through CLAT. We are soon going to launch our MBA program. Since library is the biggest asset of any law university, we invested 9.2 crore in our library. Now our students can access library e-resources from anywhere in the world. The university has also established accessibility lab for assisting visually impaired students. Extremely difficult to wait for additional 3 years after 5 years long UG course. I had no choice but to establish a full-fledged civil services center to coach and train my students to write UPSC civil services exam. Further, a comprehensive multiple intelligence policy for taking care of special needs of advanced and slow learners has also been approved and implemented. Considering the special needs of female students, the university has introduced the menstrual leave policy. The policy drew attention of media houses like BBC. To ensure academic excellence, a rigorous student and alumni feedback system has been put in place. Based on this feedback, contracts of few teachers were not renewed. To recognize teaching effort made by the faculty, the university has instituted Best Teacher and Best Researcher awards. In last 2 years, we tried our level best to institutionalize research excellence and are currently working towards a structured research ecosystem. This year itself, Cnlu has awarded 12 PhDs, which is the highest ever number of our history and is probably one of the highest in the history of any national law university. Applied for its first ever patent and backed rupees 1 crore artificial intelligence based legal research project. Ministry of Justice, Government of India too has given us a BIS project on AI law. Cnlu is currently having fully functional 7 research centers and 2 research chairs, which constitute the backbone of its applied research and policy engagement strategy. The Child Rights Center, Gender Resource Center in collaboration with United Nations Population Fund, the Center for Advanced Research on Corporate and Insolvency Law has also got a chair on insolvency law, Center for Innovation and Facilitation, Center for Alternative Dispute Resolution. Our Center for Innovation, Incubation and Legal Entrepreneurship, which is ranked 3rd in Bihar, has incubated 59 startups, which again is probably the highest amongst national law universities. The Center for Law and Economics hosted Professor Stephen McCull of Dalhousie University, Canada, who taught a full course on law and economics this year. We also have Government of India's IPR chair and State of Bihar's Panchayati Raj chair, and I have made my request to the Honorable Education Minister to create a Chanakya chair of ancient Indian jurisprudence at Cnlu. The university has established a state-of-art cyber security and digital forensic center, which will be inaugurated today. We are now in the position to train police officers of entire state in digital forensics. We are also proposing to establish few new centers such as Artificial Intelligence and Law, Wetlands, Forest and Climate Justice Center, Mental Health and Disability Law Center, Land and Real Estate Law Center, Center for Social Responsibility and Participatory Governance. I am sure the state government would support these centers. Our legal aid cell launched Bihar Samvidhan Fellowship in partnership with NIAI with the support of Tata Sons. The Bihar Samvidhan Fellowship, a 1-year paid program with 35,000 rupees per month, is designed for lawyers in Bihar who practice across district courts. During the year 24-25, the Samvidhan Fellows have conducted more than 150 legal awareness sessions with communities across Bihar. More than 4,300 women and children across 17 districts were reached out. The ongoing establishment of a community Cnlu radio station is another move in this direction. In last 2 years, Cnlu faculty has published number of books and more than 45 Scopus Index articles in Springer Journal, Taylor and Francis, Elsevier, Routledge, Emerald, IGI Global USA, Cambridge University Press, Nova Publishers USA, etc. This is the best publication record of Cnlu history and is probably better than most national law universities. It's not only academic functionality, but also the aesthetic and environmental quality of the campus. These developments reflect a long-term vision of creating a modern, sustainable students of university got placements in law firms and corporates that included Shradul Amar Chalmangal Das, ICICI Bank, Wadia Gandhi and Company, LPCO, Lexigen, Indus Law, Barucha and Partners, JSA, Lakshmi Kumaran and Sridharan, Chandok and Mahajan, HSA Legal and HDFC Limited. No NLU in India has produced more judicial officers than Cnlu. Over 350 judicial officers of Bihar are our alumni. 52 graduates were recently selected In the latest 32nd Bihar Judicial Services examination, 74 students got placed as legal officers in the Department of Prohibition, Excise and Registration, Government of Bihar. 16 students got placed as legal officers in Education Department. 28 graduates have qualified for post of law experts with the Government of Bihar. 106 students got placed with the Board of Revenue. Ms. Isha Rani qualified Civil Services exam. Ms. Preksha Jain qualified for Delhi Judicial Services. Ms. Manisha Prakash became the first student of university to qualify the District Judge entry level direct from bar exam. 4 students got judicial clerkship in Patna High Court. I am aware that you do have sound knowledge, talent, wisdom and necessary skills and don't need any sermon from me. वो खुद ही जान जाते हैं बुलंदी आसमानों की, परिंदों को नहीं तालीम दी जाती उड़ानों की. But as your teacher, I must still do my duty. Frederick W. Robertson had said, instruction ends in the classroom, but education ends only with life. Education is not one-time affair. My dear graduating students, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Often you will find that life is not working out the way you have planned, and you are faced with failure more often than you are prepared to, and things don't seem to make sense. This is so because life is designed that way. This is when you need to have faith in yourself and in the larger scheme of things and continue moving forward without being deterred by unfavorable outcomes. No matter what life throws at you, learn to deal with it with a good sense of humor, and life will not seem so difficult anymore. In the famous words of Albert Einstein, out of clutter, find simplicity. From discard, find harmony. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. करना है अपनी प्यास का खुद तुमको इंतजाम, दरिया तुम्हारे पास तो चल कर ना आएगा. I request the graduating students to follow our ancient Indian philosophy as it is based on the principle of universalism, peace and prosperity for all. My dear graduating students, you must come forward and work towards saving this great country and civilization, her religion, her spirituality, her culture and the heritage, so that we realize Viksit Bharat dream of our Honorable Prime Minister. Jai Bihar, Jai Hind.
The esteemed comments of the Supreme Court of India, Justice Asanuddin Kamala, Justice Rajesh Nindal, both gracing the dais. Justice Sudhir Singh, Acting Chief Justice, High Court of Patna and Chancellor of Chanakya National Law University. Shri Sunil Kumar, Honorable Minister of Education, Government of Bihar. Distinguished sitting and former judges of the High Court of Patna, learned Advocate General, learned Chief Secretary, learned Director General of Police, Senior Civil and Police Administration, learned Vice Chancellor of Chanakya National Law University. I could also see a very distinguished team of serving and former Vice Chancellors of various national universities who are also present here. Professor S.P. Singh, Registrar of the Cnlu, Dean, members of the faculty, teaching and non-teaching staff of the Chanakya National Law University, Registrar General, judicial officers, other registrars and officers of the establishment of the Patna High Court, and members of the Bihar State Judicial Services, proud parents and family members, but most importantly, my dear graduating students of Chanakya National University. In fact, many of you are already graduate, so only that a confirmation of the formal decree today. Ladies and gentlemen, friends from media, before I commence my formal convocation address, I think this is the apt time and occasion that I must convey my thanks to the government of Bihar for allocating 7 acres additional land to Chanakya National Law University. I convey these thanks to the state government because that shows the vision, the commitment, and a long-term investment in the field of education by a state which undoubtedly will bear fruits in future. A convocation marks a rare pause in the legal arc of learning. It is meant to be a brief moment where all your efforts are acknowledged, even as your new responsibilities begin. For this purpose, it is a privilege to share some such moments with you today. For the past year, I have had the opportunity to attend several convocation ceremonies, and each time I am reminded of the distinctive energy they carry. In fact, if I calculate correctly, today's convocation might be my 12th or 13th, and 3 more in pipeline in January and February itself. There is celebration in the air, relief on many faces, and if I may say so, a trace of disbelief among the graduates that this chapter has truly drawn to a close. For some of you, it may feel as if you arrived only yesterday. For others, it may seem as though you have lived several lives on this campus already. It is genuinely refreshing to stand before so many bright, eager faces at the threshold of what comes next. But I am so proud to hear from the learned Vice Chancellor that many of you have already chosen the judicial services as your career. Those who have embarked upon the different ways of life, either in profession or in judicial services, my heartiest congratulations and all the best wishes to each one of you. Before I proceed, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to Professor Dr. Faizan Mustafa for his gracious invitation to be here today. I have known him for many decades and have seen him grow from a committee teacher and a constitutional scholar to a widely respected pioneer in legal education. Across the university, several universities which he has led, commencing as I know as Registrar of the Aligarh Muslim University, a very senior professor in that university, then Vice Chancellor of Cnlu Cuttack, then Nalsar Hyderabad, before he accepted the stewardship of Vice Chancellorship in this Chanakya National University. He has consistently shown how academic leadership can be both intellectually rigorous and deeply student-centered. The privilege of availing his services for some highly confidential work, the way he led the team with absolute integrity, commitment, professionalism and extraordinary ability left an everlasting imprint in my mind about the distinguished and eminent jurist deep within him. I also believe that the true character of an institution is revealed by the ideas it chooses to hold closest to its heart. In my opinion, it is therefore apt that this university carries the name of Chanakya, a thinker who believed deeply in effort, discipline, and responsibility. One of his simplest observations was that, and I quote, "A person is not made great by birth or position. It is by deeds." It is an idea that resonates strongly on a day like today. Each one of you sitting here has arrived at this moment not by accident or by inheritance or entitlement. Rather, through years of sustained effort, through late nights, hectic schedules, moments of self-doubt, and quiet perseverance. From the compassion of Buddha to the moral clarity of Mahavir, from Dr. Rajendra Prasad's humble dedication to Sachidanand Sinha's service or Jayaprakash Narayan's Sampurna Kranti, Bihar has shaped ideas that speak not merely to faith but to fairness in public life. These traditions and contributions span from the state's ancient history to the annals of our freedom struggle and modern times. In fact, they remind us that justice is not an abstract concept but a lived commitment to reduce suffering, to act without bias, and to place human dignity at the center of all decision making. It is most fitting that students trained in the law should begin their professional journey in a place where these ideas first took shape. But those who are yet to join these services, my request will be to think of joining the bar. And therefore, wherever I go to NLUs, I always impress upon that you should become members of the bar. The Indian Bar Association, the legal community, the legal fraternity needs so many graduates from the national law schools practicing at the bar. You should aspire to be lawyers who are grounded in self-belief, steadfast in the face of setbacks, and human enough to remember that the law is a profession you serve, not a force that should consume you. You should have the conviction to know your worth. At the heart of the long journey lies something fundamental, namely having the conviction to know your worth. As you step out of the university and into the workforce, as some of you already have, the world will be eager to evaluate you. It will assign you value through designations, rankings, first postings, chambers, salaries, and the speed with which you appear to be doing well. None of these is irrelevant, but none of it is definite either. Your significance does not begin with your first belief, nor does it end with a rejection letter that you always keep in mind. Too often, young lawyers are taught to lower their expectations, to be grateful for less, to wait longer than necessary, to hesitate before claiming space. This is not a question of arrogance or comparison. It is a matter of self-recognition. I want to tell you that ambition, when anchored in effort and tempered by responsibility, is not something to apologize for. It is often the very force that allows individuals to grow into the roles that the field and society ultimately need them to occupy. My young friends, if you ever doubt your capacity, think back to the confidence with which you walked into the Viva examinations, armed with notes, only to realize 5 minutes in that you knew far more than you feared. Recall the resolve it took to navigate packed schedules, sudden postponements, and deadlines that always seemed to arrive earlier than announced. Those moments, modest as they may seem now, were early lessons in backing yourself. You have already survived one of the most intellectually demanding courses our country offers, and in that struggle, you have built a foundation of rigor and courage. This is important to say on a day filled with success and celebrations, because the road ahead will not always look like today in the library and in the classroom. You adjusted and you learned. That habit of continuing without bitterness and without self-doubt, turning into self-sabotage, is what will sustain a long and fulfilling legal career. So, dare to question, dare to begin again from zero if so required and if the need or the situation arises. So while wholesome matters maintaining a sense of self beyond the law, that is what you need to develop a ideological culture. Over time as you grow, your skills will determine that how you can go far, but even then it may not be sufficient on their own to fulfill your dream or your determination or your desire. To remain whole is an incomplete world. You must also guard something more fragile, that is your sense of self beyond the law. The old auditorium or the playgrounds or coffee breaks that stretched longer than intended, during movie nights at the flag post, and of course DJ parties at the basketball court, or simply in moments of laughter when the pressure felt lighter. These were not diversions or distractions. They were reminders of balance and perspective. Therefore, dear graduates, I hope you hold on to those reminders and thoughts. Your careers consciously choose to make time for things that have no professional utility whatsoever. I implore you to read simply for pleasure, play sport badly and enjoy it in any way. Pick up a few instruments, even if you feel you are too busy to start learning again, and spend ample time with people who care little about your designation and much more about your well-being. A lawyer who knows how and when to step away for these necessary breaks is often a better lawyer when they return. From what I have heard, the Cnlu has given you all more than just a legal education. Professor Mustafa gave very briefly highlighted the achievements of this university, and I can well gather from there that this university has given you a shared experience of discipline and debate, of stress and solidarity, of ambition tempered by friendship. Carry that spirit with you. Carry the curiosity that kept discussions alive long after classroom or classes were concluded. Carry the persistence that got you through tough days. Carry the humility that comes from knowing how much there is still to learn. Your professors have prepared you well. Now take up your promise to work honestly, think carefully, and remain receptive to wisdom from every direction. As you leave this university, remember that the law is not just for those who can afford it, but for anyone who is in dire need of it. You carry a solemn duty to use your skills for people's benefit. As I often say, the question is not whether you have learned the law, it is whether you are ready to reshape it, to bend it, and also to bend the arc of justice toward the communities that need it most. Whether you choose litigation or public service academia, judicial service or any other path. Never lose sight of the fact that the law draws its legitimacy from the people it protects. When you use your abilities to give voice to the unheard, voiceless, and you also give dignity to those who have been overlooked, you will be honoring not only your own education but the constitutional promise that underpins it. After today, you will disperse to courtrooms, offices, institutions, and perhaps even different continents. Your paths will diverge and your lives will unfold in ways you cannot foresee. The imprint of this place will travel with you, guiding how you prepare, shaping how you listen, and informing your devotion to society. I, while closing it, would like to ask you to look around at your peers, your seniors, and the very halls that nurtured you. You are now part of a legacy of jurists and advocates who came before. In time, you may realize that even as you move forward, a part of Chanakya National Law University continues to walk beside you, reflected in the standards you set for yourselves and the care with which you practice the law. On this note, I convey my heartiest congratulations to all the graduates. My best wishes for you, each one of you. May your journeys be meaningful and may you always remember who you are even as you grow into who you will become. Thank you very much. All the best wishes. Jai Hind.
2023-24. I request Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant to award the medals to Ms. Tanya Sinha, roll number 521, late Mr. Abhay Kumar Singh, Senior Advocate, Gold Medal for Topper in Constitutional Law, late Mr. Bharat Prasad, Advocate, Gold Medal for Topper, Girl.